Hey, what's up? How about we do a Twosun? And this one came to us by way of a good friend of the channel, Charlie. And it is a brand new TS62. Never been out of the package. How about that? I mean, come on, Charlie. So I have picked up a few knives from Charlie at a reasonable price. He has helped round out some of my Twosun collection and provided some content to the channel. And really nice guy. Look at this thing. Wow. I mean, come on. Whew. That top detent, man, I got to work on that because it is stiff. Let's get rid of this packaging. Yeah. Look at this thing. Legit number 62 in the Twosun lineup. Look at this. It's got some oily on it. So let's get that cleaned up. Oh, man, I already just love this knife. How cool. Be interesting to see the ergonomics and action and how all this thing comes together. All right, here we go. I'm going to keep this towel handy. Let's get that blade out of there. Oh, failed miserably. Oh, look at this blade on this thing. Wow. And as a lot of the Twosun D2 has, it's got some blemishes on it. Now, I have heard some tricks to deal with that. But yeah, it's got a couple of blemishes on it. And then look at the swedge grind on the end of this to even out that tip. And what a needle that's got on the end of it. I mean, ooh, stiff detent. Very stiff. I'm not sure how I failed that with as stiff as that detent is. Yeah, it's getting better. It probably just needs to work, but yeah, there is no relief getting in here to this lock bar, and it's stiff. Yep. Interesting. Very cool. Yeah, it's really stiff. Really stiff. Got some jimping there. Let's see where this lines up. So we're just outside of the liner. I'll take that point of reference once I dig in here. Night Morning Design, D2 steel, TS62. It's got this digital camo, natural G10, jade. Pretty cool. It's got some crosshatch milling in it. See that pattern? Yeah. Nice and bumpy, very grippy. Man, let's get in it. Because how difficult that is to operate, it's going to start hurting my finger. So, see if we can't tune this knife up a little bit. TH across the board. Super deep carry pocket clip. Looks like there's going to be just the very tip of that scale back here sticking up. Yeah, coated in oil. Covered in oil. except the bearings look completely dry. Yeah. Internal stop pins. Pretty cool. And covered in oil. All right, well, let's clean it up. Clean it up, man. No, the knife. Yeah, it's got another blemish up here. It's got a couple of blemishes. And then a couple here. Yep. But I'm not sweating that. But there are some things that I can try to get that off. WD-40 is one, amazingly enough. Rub some WD-40 on it, and that may come off of there. Yep. But for now, we're just going to clean all this oil off of there and wipe it all down. I am going to take a look at tuning that action before we put it back together and see if I can't lighten up that detent just a little bit, because it's pretty stiff. Look at this G10, man. It is pretty nice. Translucent, except for the digital camo pattern that's on the top. And then the way that they've milled it is it's just showing through the natural G10 under it where it's been milled. It's pretty cool. What a neat older Twosun. I like these older models, man. Even if they don't run well and stuff like that, they're just so unique. And the design back then was kind of different. It was like, try to make a bizarre knife. You know, I think that was some of the design aspirations. Like, how can I make a weird knife? Like, make anything but a good, solid, functional knife. Let's make something weird. Whereas now, the Twosuns that have been coming out lately are, no, let's just make a really solid, cool knife. Good materials, excellent fit and finish, wonderful action. You know, let's commit to the stuff that matters. And I think that's what I'm finding is coming out of Twosun lately. I mean, this thing, could it be any more simplistic? I think that's it. What am I missing? That's it. It's got a lanyard hole built into this G10 backspacer, and that backspacer is that same translucent jade. Pretty cool. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, it was locked up way over here. Let me see if I can show you. It was locked up way over there. So I'm going to take half of that out of that. Yeah, let's try that. I mean, I took quite a bit. I may end up having to put a little stank back on it. You know what I mean? Just a tiny little bit. Oh, man, is that going to run good? I already know. Hopefully I didn't take too much out of this. And then that pivot's captured right there. Yep. All right, pretty easy, man. part's still really stiff. But, ooh, that action's running now. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to fail. Because it's basically locked up in the same place. I just took a little bit of the tension out. I think while I got this out, I'm going to put just a little bit of a tension. I'm going to put a little bit of tension on this pocket clip so that I don't have to take it off again. I'm just going to squeeze that down and close that gap just a little bit on that clip right there. Like so. I didn't change it much, just the tiniest little bit, but added a little tension to it. Let's put a screw in this back spacer, or this barrel spacer right here. Okay. Yeah, so this pocket clip isn't recessed. It's up on top of the scale, but it's got two really big screws. And they're not flat or recessed, but they are crowned. And so it's possible that this clip's going to run just fine. We'll see. I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes. You got these crown screws and, you know, the ergonomics of it all, and you just can't tell. You may look at it and go, yeah, that's going to run great, and then it doesn't run at all. Or you look at it and go, that's not going to run, and then it's smooth as silk. All right, let's check this now. Oh, man. I mean, it's locked up super tight. I don't think I can fail it. I mean, I barely put anything on it. And so just the access to that right here isn't good. I mean, it's hard to get to it. It's got a little bit of a chamfer built into it right there. But, you know, really the only way in is you just got to put tension down with your thumb and then push over. Now, it's not horrible. And, of course, the higher I go to do it, the easier it is. You know, if you get sloppy and you come in low, it's difficult. But if you go high with it, it's pretty simple. And I'll be honest, if I have to choose between that being difficult or being difficult to close the knife or difficult to open it, well, I'd rather have it more challenging to close it, because when I'm opening it, I just need it to get open, completely deployed, and then a confident lockup. You know what I mean? And when I close it, if I have to pay attention a little bit to get that to work properly, well, so be it. I mean, putting the knife away shouldn't be an emergency, but potentially it's an emergency getting it out and getting it deployed. I'm going to try to fail it. I've run it a few times here. Let's see if I can fail it. Yeah, definitely can fail it. But with just the slightest amount of effort, yeah, I'm making just minimal effort there, and I can get it to run. Let me make sure I don't have any play in it still. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, the fact that I can fail it, it's basically drop shut. I mean, I'm going to call it's a B+, leaning towards an A-. You know what I mean? I mean, it is really good. Very fluid. I mean, and it's getting better. Almost completely drop shut. Get it past that detent, which is right there. There's the detent. So there I'm past it. Pretty good. Ergonomics. So not so confident, confident, very confident. I mean, if that was just a hair higher, I'd be very confident to say that it's a confident grip. But as is, it's a little low. So, I mean, I'm just going to take it up to a confident grip. I mean, but as far as this being an effective self-defense piece, I mean, look at this blade. Goodness. Reach out and touch someone. Whew, come on. And pretty solid ergos in hand. Pretty comfortable. Very grippy G10 with these millings that crosshatch through here. And, I mean, pretty solid grip. And then definitely a platform for the thumb to do a reverse grip like so. Yeah, backup self-defense for sure. Very capable. Let's check the pocket clip. I already know it's going to run. Look at this thing. It's just, is it going to hang up on those screws or what do we got? Yeah. Whoop. And yeah, it hung up on the screw instantly, but I can push past it. But it still comes up a little short. It's not running all the way. It's just hung up on them screws. Good tension. Now, on the thinner standard jean size material, it should run perfectly. Yeah, no doubt. And excellent tension, you know. It should, you know, if I go tumbling around on the ground and then at some point I'm reaching back for this knife, it should be there. Yeah, excellent tension in there. So, safety. Yeah, catch the edge of that blade right there. So, this part of the blade right here is right there. And if I just put my finger down like so, I can't touch it if I'm flat like that, but if I go tip down, I can catch just the very edge of that blade. Tip is hidden. So, I mean, the clip's good, the tip's good, and I'm just going to say that this is a cautionary tale because I can touch, pretty easily, I can touch the very edge of that blade right there. Yeah, the very edge of it. Lots of weight reduction in the scales. I mean, look at that action. Come on, man. I wonder if it's sharp. Yep. But let's hit it. Man, is that thing a dagger or what? This is an imposing piece of steel right here. I mean, wow, look at that. And that little swedge on the blade, how cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's razor blade sharp now. So much so that even that small piece of paper doesn't efface it at all. All right. Well, price and availability, I mean, it's not available. I already know. I mean, these are collectors have these, and that's where you're going to find one, if you can find one. It's a TS62 and D2 night morning design. And so what I'm going to wrap with is I'm going to take a run at these blemishes real quick, and I'll come back just for a second and see how well I did against them. Okay. So, what do you think? Are you glad you stuck around? What about this side? Yeah, and I mean, that's not a scratch. That's just a towel mark, a smudge. Yeah. Pretty cool. Took that stuff right off of there. All right. Well, listen, appreciate you watching. I wish it was more readily available, but sometimes we just get to look at this cool older stuff. And yeah, so I appreciate you hanging out. Thanks for watching.